Everybody, today's Bible English words: anxious, apostle, betray, bread, covenant, disciple, fulfillment, loaf, normally, poor, prepare, seared, suffering, supper, table, terrible, until, upstairs. I'm done my word test. I'll read the Bible English Chapter 22. The Last Supper. Now the festival of unleavened bread arrived, and the Passover lambs were sacrifices. Jesus sent Peter and John ahead and said, "Go and prepare the Passover meal so we can eat it together." "Where do you want us to go?" they asked him. He replied, "As soon as you enter Jerusalem, a man carrying a pitcher of water will meet you. Follow him. At the house he enters, says to the owner, the teacher asks, 'Where is the guest room where I can eat the Passover meal with my disciple?' He will take you upstairs to large room that is already set up. That is the place. Go ahead and prepare our supper there." They went off to the city and found everything just as Jesus had said, and they prepared the Passover supper there. Then at the proper time Jesus went, and the 12 apostles sat down together at the table. Jesus said, "I have looked forward to this hour with deep longing, anxious to eat with the Passover meal with you before my suffering begins. For I tell you now that I won't eat it again until it comes to fulfillment in the kingdom of God." Then he took a cup of wine, and when he had given thanks for it, he said, "Take this and share it among yourselves, for I will not drink wine again until the kingdom of God has come." Then he took a loaf of bread, and when he had thanked God for it, he broke it in pieces and gave it to the disciples, saying, "This is my body given for you. Do this in remembrance of me." After supper, he took another cup of wine and said, "This wine is a token of God's new covenant to save you, an arrangement sealed with the blood I will pour out for you. But here at this table, sitting among us as a friend, in the man who will betray me, for I have Son of Man must die since it is part of God's plan. But how terrible it will be for my betrayer." Then the disciples began to ask each other which of them would ever do such a thing. And they began to argue among themselves as to who would be the greatest in the coming kingdom. Jesus told them, "And this word the king and the great man order the people around, and yet they are called friends of the people. But among you, those who are the greatest, they should take the lowest rank, and the leader should be like a servant. Normally, the master sits at the table and served by his servant, but not here, for I am your servant." I'm touched with these sentences. Disciple ask, "Where do we prepare our Last Supper?" But Jesus said, "If you go this way and that way, you can meet this kind of people." And then he has a proper plan. And if disciple follow what does he said, and everything set up what he said, that is very impressed to me. So we have a lot of worries. We don't know our future day. So we have to do something for our future. But he has his own plan already. So he set up everything. If we follow his plan, we can do everything in his plan. So we have to be very relaxed and very satisfied in his plan.